Well, Mr. William over at Ruckus Rods did it again for me. That's right, patent pending. I think it was a year ago, January-ish. He had posted a video with some of his leftover rebuilders, unfinished projects, or whatever that he hadn't gotten to, and offered them up for anybody willing to put in the time and effort to finish them, I guess. And I had picked up that little guy from him, the T-bone steak, which had been on my show rod wish list for quite some time. But contacts me early February and said he had seen this one. He was going to put a bid on it out on eBay or whatever, and well, he managed to get it, so I got a job to do, putting her back together, making her all pretty again. Which I'm going to do. Had to do a little scuffing on the 4 fender tips. There's a little circle pin pressing there. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there for like a light. I don't think there was. At least I don't believe there's anything that's supposed to be on them. I do got to find new side mirrors. I do have some of the little parts there in the little tinky box, but it took me a while to get this part separated off the bottom here. I got her cleaned up and nice and smooth again, and yeah, I gouged down into it a little further because the way the saw wanted to go, it kept wanting to go in at an angle because of this part instead of flat and smooth, but we got her. I could take the side fenders off, they do mount on there, but I'm going to leave them. You can see I did some scuffing up underneath here. This is the bottom side, you're not going to see it, but I got it pretty well smoothed out where all the major issues were, and get it cleaned up enough to where once that's painted, it should hide most of it, and then whatever isn't hidden will, well, it's just going to get painted over anyway. But yeah, so this goes up in here, and then the body sides go on, and got little foot pedals down in there, steering column, shifter. The sides, though, they're going to still need a little bit of work. As you can see, there's some glue staining going on in that bottom down there. A little scuffy on these, not too super bad. Clean up enough, and, you know, little stuff like that. I don't think it's too big a deal since you can't actually open the back doors. I mean, I could if I felt like it. It would be kind of a pain in the butt. However, you know, I ain't too worried about it. They'll be hidden up in there. The little pieces of glass, they got these like wheat textures on them or whatever, but let's pull them off, do some polishing on them, see if I can get them cleaned up a little bit, and shouldn't be too bad. Roof looks nice and solid as it is. Got a little bit of a chip on the one corner which goes onto this side here, which, yeah, we'll make it work. And then you can also see she's not completely flat either. Not exactly sure if it's supposed to be like that or not, because this one isn't. As you can see, that's a lot more squared. So let's just see what's up with them down there. So anyway, yeah. Got a seat, got a little Corvair engine in there. Shouldn't be too hard to finish up on that. And front suspension with steering, both front and rear tires in there, and some of the little bits and bobs and stuff. So let's just give a little shout out thank you to William at Ruckus Rods out there in California. Always appreciate a guy like that, you know, and I may have gotten under his skin or something because he can't see a show rod without thinking of me anymore, and I like that. I'm all good with it. I hope he's okay with it, but yeah, I like my show rods, and Next up would be the Gruberwagen, the Moon Mixer, and the Meter Cheater. Those three are still part of this 5-car series. I don't think there's another one in the set, but if there is, it's on the list. So if you happen to have a parts of, or rebuilder of, or even sides of any of these little guys, or even the cute little nose. It's kind of like the Mack truck, but it's not. You know, if you got parts for one of these or something and you ain't building it, get a hold of me. Maybe we can work out a deal or something. And yeah, anyway, they're on my want list, and I would love to have them. I ain't paying sealed kit prices for these, all right? And if it was a sealed kit or a bagged kit, I wouldn't build it. But if it's a rebuilder, hell yeah, yeah. Or if it's a parts kit, yeah, I'd build it. So keep me in mind if you got one of these sitting around doing nothing in your collection. And even a patent pendant or a T-bone steak, I'll build another one of them too, because I would. So anyway, thank you, William. Thank you all for watching. Here's some pictures of my progress to this point, and I'll come back with some more video to talk about some of the updates, and we'll go from there. Time for another update before I get her did, and we got the roof all nice and black, the underside still red. Had to fix up a steering linkage on the front end and do a little repainting, get rid of some of the red. Got the back cross member taken care of, the front headlights around. Got a decent little black wash on all the engine and parts, found some new carburetors. You can see the bell housing and oil pan are still chrome, which kind of tells you just how dark the engine actually turned out. Got a little bit of a bronzy color on the exhaust for that worn and used look. Drilled out the pipes, got to throw in some black in there yet, but no flat black on the belt. Body wise, come on. There we go. Body wise, I had scuffed it up, got it all kind of cleaned up from all the glue bobbers and whatnots going on. Got the windows removed and things like that, and gave it, like I said, a nice little scuff, and got some bright red cherry paint on it, and everything looked pretty decent and little on the dull side. Could have just left it alone, but I thought I'd throw some clear on there, and yep, you can see that's not very pretty right there. Yeah, that's no good. But you know, it's bright, it's red. When it's all said and done, should look more like that one where you can't really see anything compared to this one where you can see the scattered light. Yeah, honestly, it's bright red. It's nice. It'll work. We got our wheels and tires all figured out and sorted. Got black inside the rims and a little bit of black washing on them to highlight the lug nuts a little bit. Can't really sand these tires because of the vinyl that they're made out of. They don't take a sanding like most of your tires do. Put a little red velvet inserts in the seats in there with some flat black, and basically that's what I got left for parts. We got headlights, the glass parts, and then some of the chrome bits and things like that. Body wise though, we got her in red. Now it's just a matter of doing all the white outlining. The little wraparounds on the fender need to be in white. The little fins on the engine covers need to be in white. Got the flat black on the floor and the running boards. Haven't done this side yet. Got to put little pedals and stick shift and things in there, and the seats back in. Probably going to do some brown on here, as this is a wood grain. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see it in the reflection there. That is a wood grain. So top and bottom are going to get the flat, or the wood grain effect to it. There's another piece that sits on here, but we'll get the wood graining in the floor, get that taken care of. And I was debating about it on the inside. Here's a good example of just how warped this is. You can see this one lays pretty flat, but this one, not so much. But I'm thinking once the roof is on and once it's mounted to the chassis, it should stick out pretty good. Might have a little tweak to it, so I'm going to have to be slow and steady with all of that. But as I was saying, the inside, I do have some of the red on there. You can see some of the scuffs. It's not, it's one coat. It doesn't have two. But I was debating if I wanted to put some material on the inside or just leave it red. Or, I mean, it is an apothecary, a medicine shop on wheels for those that aren't aware. I was debating if I wanted to put some shelves in there or some little cupboardry, or I don't know. I mean, it could use something. You will be able to see through the back windows and the side windows and kind of through the front. You know, looking inside, you'll be able to see a lot of that. So it's tempting. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Just get a. I mean, that's basically what you'll be seeing inside. You know, you can see the whole length of it, so probably wouldn't hurt to put something in there. The seats don't sit that high to obstruct anything. You know, so you're still going to be able to see quite a bit. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment, and hanging out with the little patent pending apothecary. So stay tuned. A couple of pictures going on. We'll probably wrap this thing up, and we'll let you go watch something else. So hang tight, and we'll get that far in a minute. Alright, folks, this is the reveal of the final. She's complete, she's pretty, she's cool, she's awesome, she's a lot of things, but she's also not perfect. As you know, this was a rebuilder, and one of the problems I didn't expect to have this far, I knew it was kind of an issue, wasn't sure how I would solve it, had an idea that didn't work out. But anyway, this thing fought me a little bit, but I managed. Let's start with the first elephant in the room. Is that right there. This side of the body is so warped, one side or the other, that I can tweak it to get it to line up where it belongs, but you can see how much the body moves. But what I had thought about doing that did not work out was I took some small channel angle iron, and I was going to run it straight up to underneath the C part of the roof, And come to find out, this is so much wider than the top. It's actually flush with the outside of this roof. This goes in, and then the inside would be even further. So I have some glue marks on here where I tried putting it on there, letting it dry, and then bringing that over, only to find the other side was, yeah, not going to work. So I'm just going to leave it, because I'd rather have the truck, I'd rather have it complete, I'd rather have it finished as it is, than to have it all messed up with something that shouldn't be. I mean, I'd modify it, yeah, sure, but no, we're going to leave it as is. The paint job kind of messed me up a little while back. Got past that. All the white is brush painted pinstriping, and it's not that great, but you know, it's there, and it'll work. It could definitely have been a lot smoother. Maybe I needed to thin it down just a little bit more so it went on a little nicer, but it's testers and enamel. What are you going to do? I did not have side mirrors, which is a minor issue. I did have to make a new tie rod for the front, steering connector rods, but that managed to work out just fine. But one of the pegs was busted, so I couldn't get it to do the steering. And then when I tried to get a little bit of steering into it, it had busted the top of, I believe it's this one, the top of the steering knuckle. You know, focus in there, maybe. Anyway, it popped off the eyelet that holds the kingpin. So when I glued it back on there, I put a little bit of steering into it, kind of matched the other side, and then mounted my steering arm thingy. Got it to work. Cleaned up the headlights a little bit. My Molotov chrome pen is, I'm going to say it's dead, but it's technically dying. It's not really chrome anymore. So, yeah, it's time for a new Molotov. Otherwise, the headlight trim there you would see it was nice. Well, it was red originally when I got it, so yeah, it's nice now compared to what it was. And cleaned the headlights up a little bit enough to get them in there. They show up pretty decent. Had all the chrome off, did all that kind of fun stuff. It has all new windows. I just used some clear Lexan. I have a little baggie with all the original windows set aside so that they are original kit parts, but yeah, all the clear is a lot thinner, nicer looking. And I found myself a set of tail lights, drilled a little hole in them, put a peg in there to mount into where the originals go. These look, I'm gonna say, almost accurate. They might be the wrong kind, but they're as close as I could find. They work. They're lantern-ish style, so that sufficed by me. Out back in the little engine bay area, this is where I fought and fought and fought. This thing's a pain in the ass to put together. You almost have to build the cross member, the motor, and the two A-arms with their CV joints, axles, all as a solid unit. Hope that the height is right, and then mount it in there. And I fought, and I fought, and I fought. I could have used 12 hands and still fought. But in the end, I managed to get it all up in there. It's all lined up where it belongs. But yeah, the black cross member mounts on top of here, other side obviously. The tail end of the transmission only mounts to the face of it, which is just a ledge. It could have had a tail on it that would sit on the ledge to get the height nice, but nope. You can't see it in the, I'm not going to show you specifically, but, well, maybe, Yeah, you see how this shaft is more that direction? You can probably see a little red dot in there where that shaft does not line up anymore. What I ended up doing was cutting the balls off both ends that go into the transmission and leaving the axle loose as it is. Now honestly, I think if anybody else is doing this and struggles with that, cutting it off of the A-arm would be more legitimate. And then if you extend it or whatever, you can go above the A-arm to the actual round part. That way it looks like it's actually there instead of mounted through it. It would look like it's mounted above it the way it should be. But anyway, that was something I struggled with for a little bit there. Yeah, oh God. I got frustrated, set the parts down, came back, cleaned all my glue mess up, repainted some parts, tried to put it all back together, struggled like hell, got to the point where the A-arms and the cross member were one solid unit, cut the balls off of it, had that glued in there solid, because you cannot get that in there with the motor in the way. The motor has to come in last, which you can't put in after if you don't cut those balls off. So yeah, that was a pain in the ass. But anyway, that's why I just cut them, got them in there. I had enough, and I was done. So I left it at that. And the wheels are actually all glued together. I never got them taken apart. And you can see they don't stay flat. Like there you can see it's lowest. Somewhere around in there you can see it's at its highest. Yeah, the rims are kind of kitty-wampus in there. But they are where they are. They're doing just fine, just like that. Set the camera down. Not a bad angle. As interior-wise, the only thing I did in there was the shifter linkage. I found a decent one. The original one was missing. And I found a little gauge pod down there on the floor between the black and the red. A little gauge pod I found that I put in there. It fit, it worked, it needed it, it got it. So yeah, as far as like a decal on it, I don't have the original decals to it because they were on it and had fallen off, basically crippled right off of the thing. But yeah, I might find something to put on there. Might just leave it red. As you know, I'm not a big decal fan. It's the only two on the whole thing, so I'm not losing a lot if I don't have them and put on there. And William, when you had mentioned contact STS, Slicker Than Snot, decals to have them make them, I could. It'd be more money than I have, which might not be much money, but if you ain't got 5 cents, it's more money than you have. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to do without that because I don't have that. But I do want to say thank you again to Mr. William. You know, hopefully next year I'll have a third one of these. We shall see. It's always a wonderful thing to me when I can check off another show rod kit that I haven't built or owned. And this is definitely one of them. And I didn't swap the axle on the T-bone because it's sitting here. It's doing just fine. It hasn't gone anywhere, done anything. Well, I guess you could say it's collected some dust. You can see the fingerprint in there. It's just dust, don't worry about that. So yeah, got a pair of groovy hot rods now. Both compliments of Mr. William at Ruckus Rods. Yeah, go check them out. Link will be in the description. So anyway, thank you, William. Thank all of you for watching. Thank any of you for commenting, liking, subscribing, whatever you did. Thank you. Appreciate that. So anyway, I'm going to go edit this so you can watch it, and by the time you're watching this, I'll probably be watching somebody else's video or playing a video game. So, till next time, have a great one and all. Bye!